श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं गुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये पौरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। मोकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मणदे वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणे स्वयं व्यासेन कृतितां पुराणमर्यानां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते बिभेद्वेषिणीम्। नारायणपरो व्यक्तादण्डमव्यक्तसम्भो मण्डस्यान्तस्तु मे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च वेदिनी। अवतीर्णश्च कालट्यां केदारेन्तर्हितश्चेतुष्पीठप्रतिष्ठाता जयदाच्चङ्करो भृः शङ्कारूपेण मच्चिन्तं पङ्कीकृतमुद्बोध्य किङ्करीस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये. So we were looking at 31st shloka previously. So where Krishna was explaining, after explaining the Sankhya Atma Tattva, Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya part, he was saying that even if you look at it as your duty, then still you should continue this battle. Swadharmopi chavyakshya na vikampitum dharmaddi yuddha chreyon anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. So even considering your own duty, you should not waver, since there is nothing else better for a kshatriya than this righteous battle. So why it is there is nothing shreya? Because we looked at Manusmriti, okay, because Dharma Shastras, all this, whatever Arjuna was saying, like for example, although these people belong to me, I do not see anything good in killing these people. Living in hell becomes inevitable by killing these people. Or how shall I fight with arrows in the battle against Bhishma, Drona, and others, and things like that. Whatever he was saying, all this has been said without deliberating on the Dharma Shastras, because Dharma Shastras, for example, Manusmriti clearly says that while protecting his people, if the king is challenged by the enemies, either equal in strength or stronger or weaker, he shall not shrink from the battle, bearing in mind the duty of the Kshatriya. And similarly, he should not shrink from the battle while protecting the people, attending the Brahmanas. So that is the best means of securing happiness for the king. So that's what Krishna also says here, saying that. And also we look at in the Parashara Smriti, says the same thing. It says that indeed a Kshatriya should, with weapons in hand, protect the earth righteously while ensuring the safety of his subjects by very strongly punishing the evildoers and by conquering the army of the enemy. So that's what Parashara Smriti says, similar to Manusmriti. So Dharma Shastras are clearly saying that Kshatriya should engage in a battle while for conquering the army. Right? So, and the word again, the word king has been established again in the sections, for example, in Avesti, in the Jaimi Sutra, it's explained again as referring to as Kshatriya. So, because these Smritis talk about king, but Jaimi Smriti is clear that that king, the word called king, Raja, is applies to Kshatriyas. It refers to Kshatriyas as well. So that's why there shouldn't be no mistake that this is the duty of the protector of the earth alone. This, you should not think that this is the king's alone. And as Arjuna, you are not a king, you are king's brother. It is not your duty. You do not think like that. That's why the Smriti is when it says a Kshatriya is indeed, or it is a duty of the Kshatriya, it is a clear indication that Arjuna should engage in the battle. That's why, therefore, it's been said rightly by the Bhagavan that for a Kshatriya, battle is commendable duty. It is like, for example, in Taittiriya Samhita, it says that horses and cattle are animals, and those which are different from horses and cattle are not animals. Okay, so it's been said like that in Taitism as a figure of speech, implying the evolution that there does not exist any other means bliss than the battle. So here again, so for a Kshatriya, there is no other happiness than a battle. That's why there is no fault in engaging the battle. Again, by saying that here, what Bhagavan is trying is he's refuting the idea that because undertaking something more praiseworthy than fighting, it is proper to withdraw from the battle. Okay, so he's saying that there is nothing praiseworthy, more praiseworthy than engaging the battle for a Kshatriya. And also he's refuting the argument that besides, even after long consideration, I do not see any good derived from killing my own people and things like that, where Arjuna says, for example, in the Vishada Yoga, 31st Shloka, he's saying Najashreyo Anupashnami Hatva Sujanamahave and so on, right? So where he says that I do not see any good. So there also, it's Bhagavan is refuting that argument as well by this shloka. And now Arjuna might say that is it not that even though fighting is a duty, yes, he might agree now that it's a Kshatriya's duty to fight, but it is not proper to undertake it against the ones we love, the adorable ones like Bhishma, Drona, or the respectful ones like Drona, and the others, because that's very censurable, right? So Arjuna might argue or question like that. So anticipating this, Bhagavan says in the next shloka, he says, Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadwaram abhavratam sukinha kshatriyaha partha labante yuddhamedrusham. O Partha, O son of Pritha, happy are those Kshatriyas who come across this kind of battle, which presents itself unsought for and which is an open gate to heaven. So again, that's the meaning of this shloka. If you look a little bit more in detail, word by word, Yadrichaya means unsought, unexpected. Cha is and. Upapannam means come. Swargadwara means Swarga is heaven, celestial adobes, and Dwara is door. Apavratam means wide open. Sukhinha is happy. Kshatriya is Kshatriya. Partha is addressing Arjuna. Labante means obtain. Yuddham means war. Idrisham means such. So here, if we look at the explanation of this shloka, why again does this battle become a duty, or why I have to engage in this? So he says that Bhagavan says this is being again answered here why this is a duty and why I have to engage, right? So because normally ahimsa parama dharma, right? So non-violence is the best, right? So general rule. That's said in this Shastras as the rule. Now, Kshatriya's duty is fighting. Again, we looked at this in very detail in Vanaparva in Mahabharata, right? So as part of Mahabharata stories in Vanaparva, where Markandeya explains if it is a duty, a Fowler story, right? So Vada, Fowler's story came, and there he explains because it is his duty, even though he is a Fowler, he is engaging in that, right? So that's similar example here. Even when it is your duty fighting specific rule for a Kshatriya, the generic rule which says that non-violence one should follow, that rule, non-violence rule, is superseded by a specific rule for the Kshatriya, whatever that's applied to Kshatriya. So that's why it is explained here. So, O Partha, O son of Pritha, are those not Kshatriyas happy? Happy here again, looking from both in this world and the other world. Those Kshatriyas, are those Kshatriyas not happy who come across a yuddham, a battle of this kind? Okay, idrisham upapannam, which presents itself yadrichaya, unsought for. So it is not something expected, it is not something planned, because if you look at this background to this battlefield in Kurukshetra, even when Pandavas were hiding from even before their marriage and things like that, Draupadi, right? After Varanavrata, they were hiding in Ekachakra they were residing in Ekachakra. At that time, Vyasa comes and says, when all this ends and you will have to face up to your brothers and kill them and to gain your kingdom, that time itself, Yudhishthira made a vow that he will do everything in his power to not to have that battle. And that's why when he was sent to all those things, he suffered, right? Going to forest and living there, Ajñātavasa and everything, he suffered all that to avoid battle with them. Otherwise, he would have had those battles very early on. But he did not want that. So when with all that effort, when it is the Ishvara Sankalpa, it is Ishvara's uh, with desire, right? So it is his wish and it is his way of things. So that's why when this unsought for the Edrichia, when this unsought, when you are not expecting this war, still it comes, which is an when such an war comes, then it is an open gate to heaven. So that's what Bhagavan says. It's an open gate to heaven. Why you not come? Because heaven one can reach by different means, right? So one is rights and duties, like for example, sacrifices and things like that. When doing Jyotistoma sacrifice and things like that, they will yield result after a lapse of some time. Okay, there is a time between completing a sacrifice and one attaining a heaven, right? Sarga. So that time is called Apurva Kala. And but Kshatriyas, the moment they die in a battlefield, they immediately go to heaven because their minds are unlike the minds of others. Their mind is purely focused on engaging in that battle, their duty, and they're not thinking about anything else when they are in that battlefield. Because the moment they mind get distracted something else, somebody will strike them, right? So their mind is fully focused on that. Their only thing is in their battle. And that's why they immediately go to them. And by the use of the phrase here, Swargadwaram, the door to heaven, what it is doing is it's averting the apprehension of incurring the sin. That means if you are going to heaven, that means the action what that's Krishna is asking him to do is does not incur any sin here. For example, even though Shāstra says something, sometimes it could include sin. For example, Sneha sacrifice we looked at previously in the first chapter when we were looking at, right? Vishada Yoga. And even though they are enjoined by the scriptures, they are yet tainted by with evil results, right? For example, snake sacrifice, it's been prohibited on account because it includes injury and hence it is sinful. But fighting is not prohibited like that. We looked at, for example, in previously in Vanaparva, right? Somaka, King Somaka sacrificing his own son Jantu and then getting 100 sons because of that. And even today we see, for example, in Devi worship, right? So, for example, Durga and Devi worship and others, even Shiva or other worships, we see Kaula Sampradaya where they offer Madhya, Mamsa, the wine, flesh, that is the animals and things like that they offer, right? So, this is again, that's even though it's enjoined by the scriptures, it is not the one that's going to result in heaven. It may give a temporary laukika sukha happiness in this world, but it is not a permanent one. So that's why what Bhagavan, when he says Swargadwaram, he says that this is not the one that's going to create that kind of sin. So it's not going to result in a sinful act. It is not a sin. Again, besides that, since the injection here again, it does not relate to the result as well. So that's why there is no scope for when something is prohibited, it should not be enjoined and things like that. So when there is no such thing, because Manusmriti himself says that the kings, in the course of fighting each other with utmost energy, with the view of killing one another and not retreating, they reach heaven. Okay, ahaveshu mito anyonyam jigam santo mahikshitah yudyamanaha param shaktya swargam yantya paramukha. So kings like that, so they swargam yantya paramukha. So by they will reach heaven. Manusmriti also says that. So again, the Shastras state in general, do not kill any creature. Okay, ahimsa. They advocate that. And may give a special injunction, special rule, fighting should be undertaken, right? For example, for Kshatriyas. Therefore, the general rule becomes restricted by the later special injunction. And that's why killing in fighting becomes free from sin. Okay. So when a special rule is applied for that, so that's when, and that's why in accordance with that, so what is the superior rule? So when there are two rules conflicting, what is the superior rule? The rule which is applied to your, specifically to you, right? So that's the superior rule, not a general rule. So again, general rule is considered as Artha Shastra. So Dharma Shastra is the one that's applied to you specifically to you. So Dharma Shastra takes maxim here. So that's the superior one. And that's why no evil comes by killing the adorable ones, Brahmins and others, such as Bhishma, Drona, and so on, because they are being felons. Okay, that's why no sin attachment. That's what Manu also says. So Manu again says that Gurum va balavriddhau va brahmanam va bhushatrutam atatayinam ayantam hanyadeva vicharayam. When one finds a felon approaching, one should certainly kill him without any other consideration, be he is an elder or a boy or an aged man or a well-versed Brahmin. No sin whatsoever incurred by a killer from slaying a felon. So that's what Manusmriti says. And also in Vashishta Smriti, it also says similar thing. So when a felon approaches with the intention of killing, one should slay him even though he be a well-versed in Vedanta. So one does not become a killer of a Brahmin thereby. So and so on. Vashishta Smriti says. And that's why then the whatever Arjuna says, for example, in the 37th shloka in the previous chapter in the Vishada Yoga, we looked at, he's saying, Sujaram hi katam hatva sukirha syama Madhava. Oh Madhava, how can we be happy by killing our kinsman? When Arjuna says those things, those words were dismissed by Bhagavan here with the declaration that there is happiness in undertaking this battle. Okay. And now Arjuna might say, is it not that I am not desiring the results of this battle, because it's been said already, right? So I already told you that Nagangshe Vijayam Krishna Narajyam Sukhanicha. Oh Krishna, I do not hanker for victory and so on. So 32nd shloka in the Vishada Yoga. And also, he also said, Abhitrailokya Rajyasya Heto Kinnu Mahikrute. Even for the sake of kingdom extending over 3 words, I don't want. What about this earth alone, right? So I don't want this. So Arjuna might say that I'm not desiring any results. How can the battle be undertaken by me? So, right? So anticipating this, Bhagavan speaks of the evil of not undertaking such an action. Though it is found to be in your duty, you should also do these things. So, which is, he says in the next shloka, in the 33rd shloka of this Sankhya Yoga, Ata chetvamimam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tada sudharmam kirting chahitva papam avapsasi. On the other hand, if you will not fight this righteous battle, then forsaking your own duty and fame, you will incur sin. Okay. So by not doing this, you will incur sin. So that's what Bhagavan says. So if we look at a little bit more in detail on the meaning of word by word, atachet means if, however, tvam means you, imam is this, dharmam sangramam means right is battle, war, na means not, karishyasi means act, tata means then, swadharmam means one's own duty according to, in accordance with Vedas, and kirtim means reputation, cha is and, hitva means abandoning, papam means sin, avapsasi is will incur. So you will incur that. So on the other hand, So on the other hand, if you na karishyasi, will not fight. If you will not fight, even this dharmam sangram. So this dharma sangramam, right, is battle. If you do not fight this, which has been presented itself as a duty, as explained previously, which is not opposed to dharma and which is enjoined by the scripture, Shastras approve this battle, then, so this battle that has come is presented itself, right? And it is your duty, and it is not opposed to dharma. It is sanctioned by the Shastras. If you do not participate in that, then because of not undertaking that, forsaking that, forsaking your own duty, hitva swadharmam, so forsaking your own duty, and kirtim, fame, okay, earned from, you already earned the fame from having battle with Shankara and others, right? So Arjuna had battles with Shiva. We looked at it in Vanaparva, and then subsequently he went to Indraloka. He defeated Gandharvas. He faced up to Kurus in a single chariot. In Viratavar, he defeated Nivadakavachas. He destroyed Hiranyapura and so on. All this fame that he has acquired, all that. So even after earning all those things, you will incur sin only, right? So that's what Bhagavan says. Or the meaning is, by rejecting this, the merit earned through many lives, you will incur only sin by committed by your king Yudhishthira, right? So the meaning is, since these wicked people will certainly kill you when you retreat from this battlefield, therefore, as a result of getting killed while retreating, do not become a mere receiver of demerits earned by others and abandon your own merit earned over a long time. Because Manusmriti says that the one whoever is killed in a battle by the enemies while retreating out of fear incurs all the sins of whatever his master might have committed. And whatever the merits this one that is killed while retreating had acquired will go to his master. So if somebody is running away from a battlefield and get killed, the merits they earned in their life before that battle, all that will go to their master. And any demerits or any sins that master has acquired will go to that person who killed while retreating from running away from the battlefield, right? So if you are retreating, Arjuna, from this battlefield and you get killed by your enemies, any sins that's there from your master will come to you, and all your fame and everything, all the merits will go to your king, your master. And also the same thing is said in the Ajnamalka Smriti as well. The king acquires the merits of those who get killed while running away. So therefore, by that, it is dismissed what's said by Arjuna, right? So Arjuna says that papameva shreyet asman hatvaitat atatayinah, right? In the 36th shloka of the Vishada Yoga. And he also says, and yetan hantumichami kritopi Madhusudana. O Madhusudana, even while we die by them, I do not want to kill them, right? So Arjuna says that. So those statements have been dismissed by Bhagavan in this shloka. And again, it has been shown here that by rejecting the battle, thereby there will be non-attainment of fame and merit, which is attainment of fame and merit are desirable, but you will not attain that. And also you will incur undesirable sin as well. So among these evil, so this evil sin results in pain after a long time, and because it happens in the next world, right? So when one acquires sin, the pain starts in the next world, and that's why it's not desirable. So that's why he says that this evil in the form of censure by the good people yields its results immediately and is extremely unbearable. So there is two types of things Bhagavan calls out. One is related to his fame, right? People will talk about his running away from the battlefield in this life, and then the sin he accumulates will come to in the next worlds. So that's why you should not run away from this battle. And by not participating in this battle, Bhagavan also explains more. Not only you will have given up your duty and fame, but also what's going to happen is akir akirtim chapi bhutani katayishyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranad atirichyate. So people will also speak of you unending infamy, and also to an honored person, this kind of akirti, infamy, is worse than the death itself. So Bhagavan says that. So look at word by word. Akirtim is infamy, cha is and, api also, bhutani is people, kadayishyanti means will speak, te means of your, avyayam means everlasting, sambhavitasya is the respectable person, cha means and, akirti is infamy, maranat means than death, atirichyate means is greater. So not only will there be giving up of your own duty and fame, but people also will speak of your unending, everlasting, perpetual infamy. So not just you will give up your duty and fame, but people also speak about you running away from the battlefield. And for an honored person, to a person honored with such great things as virtuous, heroic, and things like that, such a person, akirti, there's infamy, is atirichyate, is worse than maranat, is worse than the death. The meaning is, for an honored person, death is preferable than infamy. Sambhavitasya cha akirtehi varam maranamityartaha. That's what Shankaracharya said. So for an honored person, death is preferable than the getting this kind of infamy. So again, there are two indeclinable words here, cha and api, are used here for conjoining the destruction of fame and also merit. Right? Not only the meaning is not only you will incur sin by abandoning fame and merit, but you will also acquire infamy. And these two indeclinables means not only you will acquire that infamy, but also people will speak of it. Okay. So then the question is it not that since one's death in a battle is a possibility, so for avoiding it, even infamy has to be tolerated, right? Because because one's own protection is very much essential. And again, it's said in Mahabharata Shanti Parva, it says that through treaty, gift, creation of dissension, through all these or by any one of these, one should try to win over the enemy, and one should never wage a war. Since victory and defeat in a battle of where warring parties are seen to be unpredictable, therefore one should avoid war. When all the said means, that is treaty, gift, dissension, creating dissension and things like that, all the means are impossible, then one should wage war with all effort in such a way to conquer the enemy. So that's what Shanti Parva says. And also Manusmriti also says, Samna danena bhedena tamastairata va prataka vijetum prayate tarinna yuddena kadachana. So by conciliation, by gift, by dissension, either severally or collectively, one should try to conquer the enemy, never by a war. So when it says like that, and also Manu also further says, Anityo Vijayo Yasmat Drishyate Yudyamanayo Parajaya Sangrame Tasmat Yuddham Vivarchayet Trayanam Apipayanam Purvoktan Asambhavet Yatha Yuddheta Sampanno Vijayeta Ripun Yatha. So that means, again, since between the two combatants victory is found to be uncertain as also defeat, therefore he should avoid fighting. But in the event the three said expedients fail, then he shall fight such a manner as to conquer his enemies completely. So that's what Manuspati says. Now the question is, Arjuna might say that even escaping from this battlefield is probably better than getting killed and things like that, right? So the answer is here, Bhagavan says that he removes that doubt. He says that what does the sorrow or infamy matter to one who is after the death? He says that by saying this word sambhavitasya, right, to an honored person, okay, to a person who is greatly honored, has possessed such qualities as right is by nature, he is very heroic and so on, which do not belong to others, such a person, akirtihi atirichyate marana. Right? So for such a person, infamy is worse than even than the death. And again here, cha, the word is used in the sense of sins. Because since this is so, therefore the death is preferable to infamy and it being lesser. So, and you two are greatly honored. So, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, that you are greatly honored on account of having confronted Shiva and various other achievements. Therefore, you will not be able to bear the sorrow arising from that infamy. And that's the idea of this shloka. Again, since the quote from the Shanti Parva, Shanti Parva is mainly focusing on the Artha Shastra. Therefore, it is weaker than the Dharma Shastra, which says that the king should not retreat from the battlefield. And that's the purport here. And again, Arjuna might say that let the different people defame me, but the great chariot riders like Bhishma, Drona, and others, they will definitely praise me because me being very compassionate, right? So Arjuna might say that I don't care about what all the other people say, but definitely Bhishma, Drona, and others, they will definitely think that I'm very compassionate. They will praise me for whatever I'm going to do, from abstaining from this battlefield, walking away from this battlefield. They will definitely say that. So thinking about that, Bhagavan says in his next shloka, we look at Bhayat Ranat Upataram Mansyante Tvam Maharataha Esham Chat Tvam Bhumato Bhutva Yasyasi Laghavam. The great chariot riders will think of you as having desisted from the fight out of fear, and you will into disgrace before them to whom you have been estimable. So they all respected you now, but after this, if you run away, they will not do that. Bhayat means out of fear. Ranat means from the battlefield. Upataram means have fled. Mansante means will think. Twam, you. Maharata means warriors who could uh, face up to 10,000 other ordinary warriors. We looked at the definition of before. Esha means to whom. Cha means and. Tvam means you. Bhumata means highly esteemed. Bhutva means having been. Yasyasi means you will lose. And Laghavam means decrease in the value. So if Arjuna is thinking that they will prize these great chariot riders, Duryodhana, Bhishma, Drona, and others, they will think of you having desisted from this battlefield, from this fight, not out of compassion. They will not think like that, but out of fear of Karna and others. They will think like that, and you will again fall to disgrace before them, before Duryodhana and others, to whom you had been estimable as endowed with many qualities. They all think of very highly of you, but they will think that you are running away. So that's the description Sri Bhagavad provides for this shloka. And again, if you look at a little bit more detail, Arjuna might say, since they hold me in great esteem, how will they think of me as terrified? Right? So if you are saying that Bhishma Drona think of me as like that, they think that I'm running away, but they know that I am not like that. I'm very capable of defeating all of them. They know that. How do they think they're terrified? That's why Bhagavan here says that Bhishma and other, Esham, to whom you are Bahumata, right? To whom you are highly estimable, right? Arjuna is endowed with really great many qualities, and those great chariot riders, those Maharathis themselves will think of you. It is not just me saying, they will think that you have desisted out of fear. And this is the meaning of this shloka. And therefore, having become withdrawn from the fight, having so that has to be added here. So withdrawn from this fight. So this shloka. So when you withdraw from this battle, you will earn the contempt of all. Again, so of all is something that has to be added here. So you will contempt of all the people, you will earn that. Or the meaning is the very ones to whom you had previously been highly estimable, you have been so, will become contemptible. So now Arjuna might say, well, let those great chariot riders, Bhishma and others, not hold me in high esteem, but the enemies, Duryodhana and others, will think highly of me on account of being beneficent to them by withdrawing from those war, right? So previously, Arjuna might have said, I don't care what others think, but Bhishma Drona will think of me greatly because he respected Bhishma Drona. But now Krishna says that they will also think of you not great person, be lost, you are running away from fear. Now Arjuna says, that's why Bhishma Drona might think like that, but Duryodhana will like it because he does not have to fight me, right? So, considering that, Bhagavan says, Avachyavadam cha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastava samartyam tato dukkataram kinnuhi dukkataram nu kim. The enemies and your enemies will speak many indecent words while denigrating your might. What can be more painful than that? So he asks question here. What can be more painful than that? Avachavadan, using harsh words. Cha means end. Bahun means many. Vadishyantis will say. Tava means your. Ahitaha means enemies. Nindantaha means defame. Tava means your. Samartyam means might. Tata means than that. Dukkataram means more painful. No means indeed. Kim means what? So again, besides, your enemies will speak many various kinds of indecent words. Avachya vadan. They will speak many indecent words, unutterable words, while denigrating you, your samartyam, your might, and in the battles with Nivatakavachas and others, those might you have earned and samartyam that you presented, all that they will speak of with indecent words. Therefore, what can be more painful than that? So, than the sorrow arising from being spoken like that. So, that is to say, there is no greater pain than hearing those kind of words from others. Again, here, your enemies, while speak like that, they will speak many indecent words. Arjuna might say, while desisting from the war because of my inability to withstand more unbearable sorrow by killing Bhishma and Drona, I shall bear this, right? He might say that I will, whatever belittling they might do on my strength and things, I will bear all those things. That's why Krishna says, what can be more sorrow than that? So we, and Arjuna might say, well, then there will be slander. If I take in this battlefield and kill them, there will be people saying he killed his guru and uh, his elders and kinsmen and others. If I don't take battlefield, participate, then also people will say, so what's there? So anticipating this, Bhagavan says in the next shloka, he explains, Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmaduttishta kaunthe yuddha kratanishchaya. So he says that you kill them and attain the heaven, enjoy the earth, or that's why attain the heaven by death. So that's why you attain, you take part in this battle. So we'll stop there. Any questions for today?